Welcome to another edition of Transparency in Government. I'm glad that you're joining us. We have today Nate Greenberg, our Superintendent of Schools, and the Assistant Superintendent, Scott Laliberte. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the school district. We have done this for a long time with the town, and we only started a few months ago doing it with the school district, and I'm hoping that you like it, and that if you have questions, you'll send them in to us. Information's at the end of the show. So, gentlemen, I would like to start off with something like super positive. I saw that Ann Gaffney, I'm going to read this so I don't mess up the title. I saw that Ann Gaffney, one of our teachers at the high school, right? Middle school. As soon as I said it, I'm doubting myself. She's a teacher at the middle school, and she received the Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. And my understanding is there's about 213 teachers across the country that get that kind of an award. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Ann's been an inspiration for a long time, and I just want to tell you a personal story if I could. Many years ago, I went to a meeting and I saw this woman, a topic came up, we were at a town meeting in fact, a topic came up, and this woman walked down to the microphone with her little blonde ponytail swinging back and forth as she was walking. She's a very enthusiastic person, and she spoke very eloquently on the topic, and she was trying to get other people to think about what they were about to decide. And since that time, I have seen her so many times at the school meetings or at the town meetings or at any other kind of general meeting. And she speaks very eloquently. She's always very sensible and reasonable in her approach to things. And the reason that I wanted to speak about her is because Ann is the kind of person that is not just a good person in and of herself, but she sets such a good example for our kids to actually participate in what's going on in town and to understand that they can make a difference. So I'm very pleased that she got this award. She certainly deserves it. And there should be another award for how to motivate people to get involved. And she should get that award too. But I'm very pleased, and Ann Gaffney, I congratulate you. You certainly do deserve it. Don't you think so, gentlemen?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Ann's an outstanding educator, and a credit to the profession, credit to the Londonderry School District, and a credit to the community.
She is. She is. I'm so glad that she's with us.
Yes.
So, okay, let's move on to some other things here. I understand that the school's opened very smoothly. That's always good to know. Yep. Yeah, no problems anywhere.
Yeah, we had a wonderful school opening. Yeah. First couple of weeks of school, absolutely charming. We were able to get the kids in, and as you know, we kind of phase in 4-day week.
Right, yeah.
Gets the kids settled in. Mm-hmm. It's been very positive. A lot of great stuff going on in the schools. Big focus on growth mindset and continuation. We've upped our goal a little bit. Our goal was 95% of our students being accepted to 2- and 4-year colleges by 2020. And because we hit 94% this with the past graduating class, we decided we'd go for 95% this year.
Okay.
So we're moving it ahead. So we think we've got a lot of good things in place. Yeah. STEM activities, dual credit courses, focused and conscientious teachers, and what people might also want to look at on their Twitter accounts and the school Twitter accounts is we're doing something a little bit different, about 30 or 45-second blurbs with our teachers, why I like to teach, what I'm doing.
Oh, awesome.
And we're tweeting them out, and they're coming out from all the schools. So it'll give people in the community a face to go with a name and an understanding of why we believe we have such an incredibly positive and teaching staff. So it's just something a little new.
That's terrific. What a great idea. Got to tell people when you're good.
Yeah, right.
You know, I always tell people, sometimes you just have to forget everything your mother told you about being modest. Okay, you've got to tell people when you're doing a good job so they'll know. That's great. I like that idea a lot. And townspeople can get involved in this as well and start seeing these Twitters.
You bet.
Too. Is there any room left on Twitter? I was just thinking of one of our presidential candidates who was up at 3 a.m. this morning tweeting. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that, one of the other nice positive things that I wanted to mention was that Londonderry High School promo video.
Yes.
Done by one of the former students.
Yes.
Along with John Beaulieu. What is John Beaulieu's title?
He's our AV tech coordinator.
Tech, okay, yeah. And he knows way more than the rest of us do about TV. He's been into it for so long.
Yeah,
He started over on Channel 50 way back when.
Yeah.
So John's definitely really the pro in that field. And that was an awesome video that they put together. Kudos to him and for the girl that what was the name of the student? Do you remember?
I'm top of my head. I can't
Gosh,
remember.
I can't either. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
She
But
was
she-
one of our graduating students. She was
Yes.
a member of class of 2017.
Right.
Charming young
Yeah,
lady.
Yeah.
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 We originally did the video as a way to sort of introduce the school to Hooksett and some of our other
yep,
attendings, but
right.
it came out so well. I mean, we
Yeah.
want to have that on the website
All the time,
and whatnot.
yeah,
So people,
yeah.
if someone's considering moving to
Coming here,
Londonderry,
yeah.
good
Yeah.
way for them to
They'll
to
know
learn more.
know what they're getting into.
They will.
Getting something good.
They will.
Okay. Now, I noticed, noticed in the paper that there's an awful lot of building going on.
Yes.
And it seems to be, I was talking with Kevin Smith, the town manager, in taping an earlier show, and there does seem to be a predominance in the North End.
Yes.
What is that doing to my little North School?
Well, North School enrollment is going up.
Yeah.
We had an additional 28 students at North School alone, and we have.
And that might not seem like a lot to some people, but we had talked last time about how that can really
Correct.
affect your class sizes and
Absolutely.
depending what grades they're going into. And
Right.
Yeah, we added 2 teachers after the budget cycle because
Wow.
of the influx of students at North, so that we could keep reasonable
Reasonable
class sizes. And it's interesting, up until last year when our enrollment was pretty much flat, we had been dropping from like 2000, for example, from about 2006 on to up until last year,
Yeah.
we had lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,100 students. So last year was flat, and now what we've seen this
up.
year, as of September 30th, is a net increase of 57 students. So instead of dropping, we're starting to
We're
go
going
up.
up.
And as we discussed last time, the growth with the families moving in are families with young children. So just to give you an example, Moose Hill's enrollment is up 44. A +9 at Matthew Thornton, a +28 at North, as I mentioned, +24 at the middle school. And the high school is down 59, and South School is down 10. So you've got the growth up in the North End
Right.
is what you're seeing,
Yeah.
and you're also seeing a significant number of housing turnovers in the Matthew Thornton district, too. And so the kids that are coming in are elementary age kids as well as middle school kids. So as the construction continues in the North End, which will then move towards the Matthew Thornton catchment area, what I anticipate seeing is our elementary numbers continuing to rise,
Yeah.
and then those numbers will begin to filter through, obviously, to the middle school and then to the high school. So I think we are pretty much in a growth cycle based on the anticipated developments that are coming
Yeah.
in. So I think the trend is going to be reversed.
Now, how are you set for like classroom space? Like you added 2 teachers.
Right.
At North.
North School is going to be tight. We probably could pick up another classroom space
Okay.
up there. The key for us, Dottie, as you know from your time on the school board, is what grade levels the kids come in.
Right.
You know, and so that's going to have to be something that we're going to have to deal with. Matthew Thornton, we can fudge around with space a little bit. We have several empty spaces, in a sense, at South School that we can work with, too. So that'll be something. And if push came to shove, we have a concrete pad at South. Remember when we did the
For a
renovation, we
portable-
put that in.
Yeah.
So we could put up 2 classrooms there. But I think we're going to have to keep a close eye on everything, and classroom space is at the elementary level is going to be at
Yeah.
a premium. Middle school and high school classroom space were fine.
Yeah.
It'll be a matter of staffing issues when the enrollment hits there. Elementary level space is going to be a premium, and I know people can say, well, you had a lot more kids in those schools before, and that's absolutely correct. But we didn't have art rooms, we didn't have music rooms.
Yeah.
We have in-district special education programs that we didn't have before that are saving, not only providing what I consider to be a superior education as opposed to sending kids out of district. There's also significant cost savings next year, this year, over $7 million.
And it's just better for those kids to be
Yes.
here than be on a bus driving
Correct.
somewhere back and forth, those
Correct.
long drives.
And sometimes with out-of-district placements, as you know, the transportation cost is almost as much as the tuition cost.
Exactly.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
you know, I think we're moving in the right direction as far as enrollment is concerned.
Yeah.
We've got all the growth up in the north end. You've got the industrial growth by the airport too, which will help, I think. And I think we'll be moving ahead. And there are going to be issues we'll have to deal with, but I'd rather be able to deal with growth issues than declining enrollment.
Well, I'm really glad that we have music rooms and art rooms and things like
Yeah.
that, because it's just not as effective when you're rolling a cart into a classroom with some cans of paint and stuff on it. It's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same.
And
It needs to be treated as an important part of the curriculum.
absolutely. And, you know, obviously I'm very prejudiced as superintendent of schools, and I think we have an outstanding program. I'm also a homeowner here. And I think there's a certain percentage of the value of your home that's attributed to the value of the school system.
Oh, it absolutely is, yeah.
So
For a lot of years, that's the
Oh.
only reason people were coming here, is
Correct.
because the school system was so good.
Right. So maintaining that quality, I think, is critical for everybody's investment in
Yeah.
their home.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it does help. And I hope
Absolutely.
people will keep that in mind and
You
not
bet.
expect you to take over those other rooms
You bet.
as we move forward, so. But I'm sure you have plans for what will happen down the road, but you've got to be flexible depending on where those kids pop into the classrooms.
Absolutely.
So, okay, now, one of the things I noticed in the paper is that there was some sort of a bomb threat that happened over at the high school. And I know that like 99 times out of 100, it turns out to be somebody's idea of a joke, which is really bad. But I thought it might be a good idea to kind of explain what are the policies when something like this happens, so parents can maybe be a little more confident in the process.
Absolutely. Actually, there have been a total of 3 threats that were written in bathrooms.
Okay.
All right, I can't go into the specifics
Oh,
of the
no,
threats.
Yep, that's
But
fine.
once we have been alerted to the fact that something's there, we immediately contacted the police department. And the police and the school administration do a joint threat assessment based on what is written or not
Right.
written,
Is it-
and make a determination as to whether the threat is credible or not. But our overriding concern is always the safety and welfare of our students and faculty at the schools.
Absolutely.
So the latest one, which occurred on September 29th, today is the 30th when we're taping, was discovered at the end of school about 2:15, 2:20. We immediately called police. Police came over. We made a joint assessment of what we found. And because it was the third one, we decided that what we would do is do a sweep of the building. So we had 6, 7 police officers, along with members of the administrative team, did a sweep of the building. All right, so we felt comfortable the building was safe. And then we sent out an email to all the parents. Now, what we have heard back from parents is there was, in some cases, a significant delay in them getting their information. Even though we ran a blurb on 21 and posted it up on the website. That's obviously a concern to the parents and certainly is a concern to us. So this morning, went in, had a discussion with the IT department, and we're looking at making adjustments on our end. We don't know if there are some adjustments that have to be made on other people's servers
Yeah,
or what have
yeah.
you. And then what we'll probably do this afternoon, which is the 30th, is run a test. And with the idea that if asking people if they don't get it back, if they don't receive this 30 minutes after it's sent, please notify us.
Okay.
So we're trying to adjust that.
Yeah.
Then this morning, we had significant police presence at the school. We had 6, 7 police officers at the school. The school is conducting interviews and doing an investigation. One of our assistant principals stayed till 10 o'clock last night reviewing videos from the camera, and then came back in at 3:30 in the morning to do
wow.
more.
Yeah.
All right, so right now, as we speak, at about a little after 11 on September 30th, the high school is continuing with their investigation. But
Okay.
and I'm glad you asked the question, always our foremost concern is the safety and well-being of the students and the
Yeah.
faculty.
Yeah.
And we're taking all the necessary precautions to ensure that that, in fact, takes place.
And I know that that's always been the case, that the kids come first. It's
Yes.
most important to keep them safe.
Absolutely.
And I just wish that the people who put these threats out there would understand that the chaos that they're creating is just bad. You know, I don't understand why they do it.
Right. It's no joke, particularly
It's
in the
not a joke.
climate
It's
that
not
we
funny.
have today.
No.
And so
And you
we're
have to take it seriously with doing the interviews and trying to find the person who did this. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we will take swift and appropriate action.
Yeah. And hopefully that will make an impression on
One would
other
hope.
people who have these ridiculous
Yes.
ideas.
I agree.
Yeah, okay. Now, on a much more positive note, something that's happening over at the high school as well, and I'm sure that Ed Thibodeau just rolled over in happiness in his grave. Former principal, for anybody who is not familiar, he was the first principal and he was there for a very long time. But when Ed Thibodeau was the principal, he instituted the Hall of Fame. It was something that he wanted to make sure that everybody who had left the high school and had gone out and made some sort of a positive impact in the world and reflected well back on us would be recognized. So that went on for a long time.
Yes.
And I think it stopped, was it 96 or 2006? I think there was a 6 in there somewhere. It hasn't been going on for a while, but it's now been reinstituted.
Yes.
And I wanted you gentlemen to talk about the Hall of Fame and what kinds of things are we looking for?
Right. The Hall of Fame, what they're looking for are individuals, alumni, or other individuals in the community who have made a significant contribution to Londonderry High School and Londonderry School District.
Or reflected well on
Or
us.
reflected on, well, absolutely. And it can be athletes, it could be teachers, it could be community members. So it's not just a Hall of Fame for athletes.
Right.
All right,
yeah.
so it's all encompassing. The Athletic Council is one with Crystal Rich, are the ones that are really promoting this and working with it, certainly with the support of Principal Jason Parent.
Yeah.
And I believe they're accepting applications at this point for the Hall of Fame.
Are those applications on the website?
I
or are
believe
they
they're online, and I believe they're on the
online?
website
Okay.
too.
Okay.
I know they've been tweeted out with the information, and information has gone out. If anyone has someone to nominate and they can't find it, just please
Call.
feel free to call the high school.
Okay.
And they'll be happy to respond to you with all alacrity.
Yeah. This is a great thing to do.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
they don't just leave us and we forget about them.
That's right.
And particularly that it extends beyond just the athletic piece.
Yes, yeah,
certainly
because
proud
for
of it, but-
any reason that they've done well by us.
Right.
I think that's great. And it shows
Right.
how we've done well by them, with the great students that we've put out there in the world.
Certainly.
Okay, I think you're on for this one.
I'm on for this one.
Yeah, we want to talk about the Bosch Technology Grant.
Yes, very, very excited about this. I think we alluded to it just briefly when we spoke before, but we have many
Yes,
more
we did.
details
Yep.
now.
Yes.
The Bosch Community Fund is the actual name of the
Okay.
grant process. And it's very interesting, as you know, Bosch has a facility here in Londonderry, very good neighbors to us. And they, as a part of the mission of their company, they include philanthropy in their business model. And so the grant process is competitive. We've applied for the last 3 years and very, very fortunate to have been supported
Yeah.
for 3 years in a row. This particular grant we wrote to fund a pilot of an after-school pre-engineering program, is what it would be formally called.
Yeah.
Rich Levergood, who's an outstanding physics teacher at the high school, and Martha Miller, who's of course a
Martha
gem.
Miller.
Martha
Yeah.
at Matthew Thornton.
Yep.
The two of them are actually working with a group of 14 4th and 5th graders at
Fourth
South
and 5th
School.
graders for engineering, huh?
And that's right.
I
And
love
what we did was we used the grant to purchase some kits for the students that allow them to design different electronic components. And what Rich and Martha do is they construct challenges for the kids,
yes, yeah,
and the
yeah.
kids have to try to solve these challenges. And it could be anything from circuit boards to diodes to all sorts of different electronic components. We were at a district-wide STEM integration meeting last week, and Rich showed us one of the projects they're going to be doing. It's actually possible to build a piano out of bananas. And you got to see it to believe it.
I
He
will have to
rolled
see
it out,
that to
and
believe it. Yeah.
you can actually build a
Can
piano
you get
out
a
of
picture of that
bananas.
before the bananas start to go?
I think we need to do that
Yeah.
because I've mentioned it to a couple of people.
I'm thinking
and
of fruit flies.
Right. So there are certain challenges like that.
Yeah.
They're all entertaining.
Piano out of bananas.
And yep. So you can run an electrical circuit through them, and when you use your hand, your body interrupts the electrical
Amazing.
circuitry, and it creates a different tone based on which banana you touch.
I'm not sure that'll catch on though.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
that's going to be in
No, it
the
won't be
band.
up there with the iPods and stuff like that.
No. Well, we were thinking about running that by Mr. Susi.
Yes,
seeing if
yeah.
there was room in the
You know,
marching band for that.
he would probably incorporate it into the
He might make room.
program.
So that's an example of what
Yeah.
we're doing. Whole idea being we really want to introduce our students to the idea of the engineering process,
Get them
and the whole
thinking
idea
that
that
way.
trial and error is okay. Failure is an opportunity to go back,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it fits right into, as Nate said, our whole focus on perseverance
Yep.
and ownership, and trying to convince kids that that whole idea of just because you failed at something doesn't mean it's over.
Oh, good Lord, no. Yeah.
You can learn the most from the things at which you fail. So, and that's, as we know, that's built into the engineering process. And we have a
Was it-
group of kids that really gravitate towards it too.
I can't remember who it was. Nate, maybe you remember. It was like either Edison or somebody like that when they said,
Oh,
how
yeah.
you failed.
Yeah.
You failed so many times, wasn't that?
The light bulb.
Dill forgot.
Yeah.
And he said, but I learned 1,000 ways not
That's
to make a
right.
light bulb.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah, we've used that
it's
one.
not, I think it was him.
Right? It was
Yeah,
him.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's the way I would like to see people think as well. You just try it another way.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
a lot of the research that we've based that
Yeah.
initiative on,
Yeah.
it was based on some researchers like Carol Dweck and Angela Duckworth, who went back and actually looked at highly successful people and said what characteristics
got
do
them,
they have
yeah.
that make them unique. There are a lot of very intelligent people in the world. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're successful. So
That's
it
right.
makes-
Yeah.
And what they
Yeah,
found was
yeah.
that was the key. Is what makes people successful
Yeah.
is the ability to stand back up again when you fall down.
Yeah.
So we find that certainly grateful for Bosch's support, something that we're able to do, and we're hoping that out of this we'll be able to develop a program that will be replicable, and our goal would be next year to be able to offer it at all three elementary
What
schools.
I like is you're not just teaching them, you're not just educating them on like engineering and that sort of thing, but I
Right.
think that what that also does is it helps to build character.
Sure.
When you can learn that you can fail and you can get up and you can do it again.
Yeah,
I think we need to build character.
we
That's
do.
a good
we
thing.
do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
So Nate, I know you wanted to talk about the senior center and what's going to happen when that opens the end
Right.
of next month,
Right.
end of October.
Yeah, and it's going to be activities in the senior center as well as outside the senior center. If you remember, we had talked, or one of the first times
Yep.
were on the show, about our senior outreach, and we're looking at and have implemented or will be implementing a number of things. And just to give you an example, the Pay It Forward group, Veterans Breakfast in November, bingo nights, Lions Hole Dance with Senior Citizens, Christmas Tree Unloading and Delivery. The class of 2020 is planning on hosting a senior prom this spring
Oh, cool.
for seniors.
Cool.
We've also, in the past, and will continue with a senior citizen Christmas luncheon, a St. Patrick's Day luncheon, volunteer luncheon. We're also going to make available, and we've contacted Catherine, or will be contacting Catherine, free tickets to music performances, as well as free tickets to the games.
Yeah.
One of the other things too we want to do is invite seniors into the school to work with our kids. So reading to students, doing some tutoring. We're going to be reaching
Like
out.
a grandparents program kind of thing?
Yeah. And so, and then the other thing that is in the works is going to be something like a computer maintenance or a tech fair. So seniors can bring in their cell phones or their iPads.
How do I do this?
Yeah, pretty much. And our kids are pretty tech savvy, so we'll have them be the main focus of working with them. And then this, I think, is interesting. On the survey we did, there were some seniors that were at least semi-housebound. And in our high school, one of the activities that we have with some of our special education classes is taking them out and giving them experience shopping and so forth. So what we think we're going to try and do for those seniors who may be somewhat housebound, maybe getting their grocery list, and so we'll be able to take our kids to the grocery and actually accomplish two things.
That's a wonderful idea.
So that's something that we're working on. Obviously, we've got to get parent permission and all that other stuff.
And those housebound seniors are also going to be really happy to see those kids bring in the
bet.
groceries. They're going to love seeing the kids.
I think it'll be a really cool thing. So we had, and as a matter of fact, we talked about it on Wednesday. So that's another thing that's in the works. So the snowball is beginning to roll. And I think by the end of the year, we'll have a nice big giant snowball that we can continue to build a snowman out of in succeeding years.
That sounds great.
So.
Are you familiar with caregivers?
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say that might be another connection too.
What an excellent idea. Thank you.
Because they do a lot of that, especially with people who just maybe want that company.
Yep.
You know, there are some people that are like, can you come over and play checkers with me once a week?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
That sounds
Might
great.
be another way for the kids to get involved.
Absolutely. And then I think too, we're going to make contact with the over 55 communities in town, and with the idea that we go out and talk to people and find out what perhaps some of their needs are, and also talk a little bit about the school system and see if we can get some volunteers to come into school. On our Career and College Day, which is going to be October 19th, we're going just like last year, we're inviting members of the community to come in, and there'll be some seniors in there, come in and talk about their careers, what they had to do, et cetera. So it'll be another exciting opportunity in trying to get the seniors in with our little ones.
Yeah, because we need all of these age groups to come together and be one community.
Yeah. And, being a senior myself, it's kind of nice.
Well, see, now I was trying to figure out, when do you become a senior? Well, I know, but at 55 for some people,
right.
It's like during the senior center, you have to be 55. But then some places you go, you have to be 62.
Yeah. You know what I go by?
What?
The first edition of AARP magazine that arrives in my mailbox.
50. I was shocked.
You're telling me.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that was shocking when I got my first AARP thing in the mail. And the next shocking thing was when I went into Dunkin' Donuts and I placed my order and I saw a senior discount come up on the register. Like, they didn't even ask me.
I know. I tell you, for years, Dottie, I fought taking the senior discount. It was pure ego.
Yeah.
It was just pure ego.
No,
now I said, oh, yes, I'll take
what
that.
the heck, why not?
What the heck?
Why not?
Right.
You earned it.
Yep.
And I figure I earned every one of these gray hairs. Maybe a discount here or there is okay, too.
You got that right.
So are there any other things going on that we want to make sure people know about? I mean, I know there's so much that goes on in the school district. We probably couldn't cover it all if we stayed all day.
Well,
Some of the highlights.
What I'd like to alert people to is There are going to be a number of videos that are coming out on, for instance, on our POP initiatives, Perseverance, Ownership, and Practice at the elementary level. So it's just another way of letting people know what's happening.
Okay.
There have been parent nights already this year. Those kinds of things are going
for
out.
those.
Right. Scott is continuing to lead the way on our STEM initiatives, so that's great. Our Futures Lab, which we talked about at the last meeting, is continuing to expand opportunities. Career breakfasts are going at the high school. So there's just a ton of stuff that's going on at the high school, the middle school, the elementary schools, and Moose Hill. So we're trying to give our kids the best opportunities possible to put them in the best position to be successful young men and women and have the skills to be contributing citizens, really, as we go forward, and provide them with actually some fun along the way. Opening day, one of the things we talked about, opening day with the teachers, at the end of my speech, I said, we should ask ourselves 4 questions every day. And parents might want to ask the same 4 questions of their kids when they come to dinner. Did you learn something new? Did you do your best? Did you do right? And did you have fun? So if you ask those 4 questions every day, it's amazing the kind of conversation you will have with your children. And also, it's a great way for us to do our own self-reflection and for students to do self-reflection.
That's a lot better than what did you do in school today?
Correct.
Nothing.
Right? Yep. Well, my kids, that's what I always got.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, nothing.
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 Things okay? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, they not responding well. So that's good. You've got to ask those leading questions that
so
don't have
those
yes
are
or
4
no
good
answers.
questions to
Yeah,
ask.
I like
think.
that. I like that. Okay.
All right.
So anything upcoming that we want to make sure people are aware of? Any events in the horizon here?
We've got a whole host of events coming up throughout the district. We've got staff development activities which will be on Election Day.
Okay. So the kids will be home?
The kids will be home. We're having staff development for faculty and staff. Discussion we had with the town, so even our high school teachers and Matthew Thornton teachers will be taking their in-service and staff development activities at the other schools.
Oh, okay.
So we could
Open up
free
the
up
parking lots and,
space
yeah.
because
It's going to be crazy.
the town told us they're anticipating 14,000 people coming
Yeah.
to vote.
Yeah.
So we want to be
Yeah,
good
and
citizens.
Kevin just recommended that if we see somebody we haven't seen in a long time, don't stop and visit there. Meet them at Janie's or something, because it keeps the cars in the parking
Yeah.
lot. He wants everything moving.
Sure, absolutely.
So I know he was talking directly to me.
So, yeah, and so what I would suggest for all our parents, just check in on your child's school's website, the listed activities
Yeah.
all over the place. There was a great parents' night last night on the 29th at South School. The high school open house got great reviews, North
Yeah.
School, all
Yeah.
the schools did. And just stay in touch with the schools and
Sounds
just watch
good.
it. Plenty of
Sounds
stuff.
good. How about you, Scott?
Well, just the one thing I would mention, next Wednesday we have our Curriculum Coordinating Council
Next Wednesday
meeting
being the date of the
I'm sorry, yeah,
fifth?
it will be the 5th,
Okay.
yes. I forget, sometimes we're delaying.
Yeah, we don't know when we're
Yeah.
gonna, when people are gonna watch.
Thanks for keeping me straight. But we're going to have the Curriculum Coordinating Council meeting, and we're going to be looking specifically at digital learning in the district.
Okay.
As we know, that's kind of a hot topic. You know, we are using some new tools like iReady we talked about last time, but we also have made some decisions not to use other tools. So what we really wanted to do is have an opportunity to talk to members of the community about how we're making those decisions
Terrific, okay.
and how we're going to use different tools, and we
So
may
this is
decide
an
not to
open
use
meeting,
other.
this is a,
The public is welcome. It
Wonderful.
is a public
Okay.
meeting,
Okay.
and as I said, we're looking to sort of engage people in that discussion, because sometimes people don't get a chance to see what goes into that thought process.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we've actually been working on something we call our digital learning plan,
that's good.
which is going to guide a lot of our thought
So
going
people can
forward.
share their opinions.
That's what we're looking
I have
for.
always
Yep.
felt it's important to share your opinions, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but ingrown opinions are very dangerous. You know, so you have to be very
Yeah.
careful about that.
I like that phrase.
Got to get
yeah.
them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it sounds like things are going well, and we'll get future updates over the
Yes.
fall to find out how things are going and progressing.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
And next time we meet, we can talk about October 19th, which is our College and Career Day,
Okay.
where grades 8 through 11 will be taking various versions of the PSAT and all the activities that are going on in the schools after the kids take the test.
Okay, sounds good. Terrific. Okay. Well, I thank you very much for being with us today. And again, this is Transparency in Government, and today we're talking about the school district. Any questions that you have, you can call the school district. You can go to the website and find out information, or as Nate said, your school site. And there will be contact information at the end of the show. I hope that you will send in your questions if you're not comfortable calling someone up and asking. We would be happy to help you out, because this is transparency in government, so we want you to know everything that's going on. And thank you for watching. Nate, thank you very much for being
Thank you,
here.
Dottie.
Glad
My
to
pleasure.
have you. And Scott, you too.